evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome to the January 2nd, 2018 organization meeting of the Millburn Township Committee, which is called to order. In accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Laws, 1975, be advised that notice of this meeting was made by posting on the bulletin board in Town Hall and forwarded to the officially designated newspaper that this meeting would take place at Town Hall tonight at 7:30. I kindly ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of
Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the invocation, which will be presented by Rabbi Karen Froman of Congregation B'nai Jeshurun of Millburn.
Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Karen Perlman. I'm privileged to serve Congregation B'nai Jeshurun, a local Reform Jewish congregation in Short Hills, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to participate in your meeting this evening by giving its opening invocation. The word invocation means to invoke God's presence in prayer, usually offered at the beginning of a religious service or public ceremony. Why, you might ask, would you invite a member of the clergy to open the year's work of a public, non-religious organization? No, this is not some kind of radical stance against the separation of church and state. No, I am not looking to attract new members to my congregation, although you're always welcome. No, I stand before you as a humble servant of our common, universal Creator. So much of our world is difficult, serious, and painful. Each of us experiences loss, challenge, adversity, and difficulty. In choosing to serve our community, you have chosen to engage in the sacred work of helping to make our township a better place. This is not an easy task, but it is my hope that the deity, who has so many names, will serve as one of your guides in this important work. Dear God, I invoke your presence this evening in this new year, as this body of leaders comes together again in sacred work for the people and the community of Millburn and Short Hills. May they always be guided by their moral compass and personal understanding of your law. Pour out your blessings on these leaders who work faithfully for the public good. Teach them your law, enlighten them with your justice, so that peace, tranquility, happiness, and freedom will never depart from our land. God of all that lives, please bestow your spirit on all its inhabitants of our township and our state, and plant love, fellowship, peace, and friendship between the different communities and faiths that live here. May we all inspire for civility and depth of connection and purpose. And so may it be your will, dear God, that our land and our state and our township be a blessing for all who live on earth, and that peace and liberty will dwell between them. And if you're inclined, please join me in saying, Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. At the 2017 general election, both Cheryl H. Burstein and Jackie Benjamin Lieberberg were elected to the Township Committee for terms for 3 years, expiring on December 31st, 2020. I kindly ask Cheryl H. Burstein to please stand so that I may administer the oath of office. I, Cheryl H. Burstein. I, Cheryl H. Burstein. Do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly affirm
I do further solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of the office of
all the duties of the office of
Township Committee Member of Millburn Township
Township Committee Member of Millburn Township
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God. Congratulations. Thank you.
I kindly ask Jackie Benjamin Lieberberg to please stand so Governor Richard Cody may administer her oath of office for appointment to the Township Committee.
You ready? How's everybody doing? It's been a cold night before we all came out, huh? You ready to give up your life? Repeat after me.
I, Jackie Benjamin Lieberberg,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further
I do further
solemnly affirm
solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of
Township Committee Member
of Millburn Township
of Millburn Township
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. And you're moving on up.
I will now call for a roll call vote to note those present. Ms. Burstein? Here. Mr. Levy?
Present.
Ms. Lieberberg?
Present.
Ms. Rosenberg?
Here.
Ms. Fall Eglo?
Here.
Thank you. The record will show that all members of the Millburn Township Committee are present for this meeting. Is there a nomination for mayor for 2018?
I nominate Cheryl Burstein for mayor.
Is there a second?
I second that.
Will the nominee accept the nomination?
I will.
Are there any other nominations for mayor? Seeing none, I will call for a roll call vote to elect Ms. Burstein as mayor for 2018. Ms. Burstein?
Yes.
Mr. Levy?
Yes.
Ms. Lieberberg?
No.
Ms. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Ms. Fall Eglo?
No.
Congratulations, Mayor Burstein. I will now kindly turn the meeting over to you.
Fair enough.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Thank you for the chairmanship. Before we go on to the rest of this, the committee has a lot of work ahead of us. Among other things, we'll be working towards addressing our affordable housing obligations, looking to redress our continued shortage of playing fields, continuing to maintain a vibrant downtown, having a closer working relationship with the Board of Education to work on issues that affect both of these arms of our township, and addressing traffic and parking issues. Our planning board will have its hands full with its review and revision of the township's master plan. We're also mindful of the new tax plan enacted at the end of 2017, which has caused serious concerns and consternation among many residents. While we're mindful that we must maintain the quality of life Millburn Township provides for all of our residents. Each of us has issues that are important to us and that we will champion. Separately, we may be supported by different constituencies, but as a township committee, our objective is to work together to reach a consensus on each of the different issues before us to find the solution that we believe is best for the community as a whole. I look forward to working with each of my co-committee members to do just that. I wish you all a happy and healthy 2018. And with that, I am going to ask for nominations for deputy mayor, vice chair for 2018. Mr. Levy.
Nominate Jody Rosenberg.
I will second that nomination. Are there any other nominations for vice chair?
Yes, I nominate Diane Eglow for deputy mayor.
May
Miss
I-
Eglow?
May I have a second for that?
I second that.
Thank you. Ms. Rosenberg, will you accept the nomination?
I will.
Ms. Eglow, will you accept the nomination?
I will.
Thank you. May I have a roll call vote, please? This is for Jody Rosenberg's record.
Mr. Levy?
Yes.
Ms. Lieberberg?
No.
Ms. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Ms. Paul Egla?
No.
Mayor Burstein?
Yes.
And then the roll call vote. Mr. Levy?
No.
Ms. Lieberberg?
Yes.
Ms. Rosenberg?
No.
Ms. Paul Egla?
I would like to say a few words if I may. First of all, good evening. Thank you everyone for coming out tonight.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm
Ms.
sorry, I'd
Eglow,
like to-
that's not the.
I would like to
this
say a
is
few
the-
words.
However, that's
It's
out of
been
order.
quite a year for me, and I want to thank so many people for their unending support. My husband, Michael, has attended every meeting and has showed unleveling support, knowing it's been a very difficult year. I want to especially thank so many who, on my word alone, supported Jackie, put their lawn signs on their property, and many who even bullet voted to assure Jackie's election. I campaigned as tirelessly for Jackie as I did for Sam Levy and myself last year. That was 3 big wins.
Thank you,
Moving
Ms.
on,
Eglow.
there are many
Ms.
more
Eglow.
issues, I'm going to finish.
No, you know what?
Yes, there are many issues that will be coming
That's
before the
exactly
Township
the
Committee this
problem.
year. Will Stop and Shop be built? How big and dense will the Chatham Road development wind up? And of course, the affordable housing issues. Some followers on Happy Millburn believe waves is to blame for the traffic in the Washington and South Mountain sections. I believe it was the $6 million triple award-winning
This is-
complete street project. But who's
What
to
do we do
say?
with somebody who simply
Miss
refuses to-
Burstein,
Let
Miss
her
Levy. Miss Burstein, Mr.
Why-
Levy.
We want to
okay?
hear.
Why is it okay to be out of order?
I would like to-
ignore
I-
the-
Because you
I have
won't
the
let
floor.
her talk otherwise, so
It's
go,
very
let her,
short.
go ahead, Diane.
Miss Burstein, Mr. Levy, and Miss Rosenberg told me last year how I, newly first-timer, was unqualified to serve as deputy mayor. According to them, this year as well, I am too newsy and unseasoned. I would like to present a copy of Robert's Rules to the mayor that Jackie had purchased for me when we were thought she would be able to put me for mayor. As Sam Levy's civic lesson taught the Boy Scouts, you don't always get what you want, and the adage says you can't fight City Hall. So I accept my nomination and second my nomination for deputy mayor. Thank you all for your support.
Into that was out of order, and there are other opportunities during the meeting to speak other than in the middle of the roll call. I suggest you move forward.
Happy to.
Mayor Burstein?
So I will announce that the Rosenberg has been elected deputy mayor. The following are the appointments to the 2018 Art Advisory Committee. Orla Greenberg, Donna Davis, Lorraine Barrage, Chair, Oscar Peterson, Amy McGovern, Andrew Permison, Judith Kramer, Michelle Sanfilippo, who is the advisor, Kathy Hecht, Victoria Plummer, and Joyce Siegel. Congratulations to you all. The following are the appointments to the Environmental Commission. Vic Dennis is reappointed to a 3-year term ending December 31, 2020. Lisa Chernovsky Singer is reappointed to a 3-year term ending December 31st, 2020. Oyin Owolabi is appointed to fill an unexpired 3-year term ending December 31, 2018. Joseph Barbanel is appointed to fill an unexpired 3-year term ending December 31, 2018. Priya Patel is appointed to a 3-year term ending December 31, 2020. David Emma is reappointed to a 2-year term as alternate number 1, term ending December 31st, 2019. Elizabeth Bolivan will be chairperson of the Environmental Commission for a 1-year term ending December 31, 2018. Mary Escobar is appointed as a Class C commissioner to a 2-year term as alternate number 1 to the Historic Preservation Commission ending December 31st, 2019. Also appointed to the Historic Preservation Commission are Dr. Ladi Williams Olawabi, Class C, appointed to a 2-year unexpired term as alternate number 2 ending December 31, 2018. Jyoti Sharma, appointment to a term concurrent with her zoning board of adjustment term ending December 31, 2018. Congratulations to all those who were appointed to the Historic Preservation Commission and Environmental Commission. The following are the appointments to the Planning Board. Roger Manshell, Class 4, reappointed to a 4-year term ending December 31, 2021. Joseph Steinberg, Class 2, concurrent with his zoning board of adjustment term ending December 31, 2021. Mary Salerno, Class 4, appointed to a 40-year term ending December 31st, 2021. Leslie Lombardi, Class 4, appointed to a 2-year term as alternate number 1, term ending December 31, 2019. Marilyn Atlas Burney, appointment to an unexpired 2-year term as alternate number 2, term ending December 31, 2018. The following, congratulations to all those appointed to the Planning Board and reappointed. The following appointments to the Board of Recreation: Chris Drucker is reappointed to a 5-year term ending December 31st, 2022. Jody Rosenberg will be the Township Committee member of the Board of the Downtown Millburn Development Alliance Board of Trustees for a 1-year term ending December 31st, 2018. Sam Levy and Jackie Lieberberg are the Township Committee Liaison Trustees of the Cora Hartshorn Arboretum and Bird Sanctuary for a 1-year term ending December 31st, 2018. I will be the Class 1 member to the Planning Board for a 1-year term ending December 31st, 2018. I will be the trustee to the Board of Trustees of the Millburn Free Public Library for a 1-year term ending December 31st, 2018. The following Township Committee members are liaisons to the boards and committees as follows: Board of Recreation, Sam Levy; Community Service Award, Jackie Lieberberg; Environmental Commission, Diane Fall-Eglow; Shade Tree Advisory Board, Diane Fall-Eglow. The following members of the Township Committee will serve on the Financial Ad Hoc: Cheryl Burstein, Sam Levy. Pursuant to statute and with the consent of the Township Committee, as mayor, I will be the Group 1 member of the Emergency Management Council for a term corresponding with my official tenure as mayor. With the consent of the Township Committee, Dorothy Kelly will be appointed to a 5-year term ending December 31, 2022 to the Millburn Free Public Library. With the consent of the Township Committee, Jody Rosenberg will be liaison to the Senior Citizen Advisory Board for a 1-year term ending on December 31st, 2018. With the consent of the committee, Barbara Sierra is reappointed as a member of the Local Assistance Board for a 4-year term ending on December 31st, 2021. With the consent of the Township Committee, Annette Romano is reappointed as member of the Local Assistance Board for a 1-year term ending on December 31, 2018. With the consent of the Township Committee, the following appointments are made to the 2018 Senior Citizen Advisory Board. Mary Ann Moore, Ellen Kropp, Chair, Judith Fredman, Ellen Steinberg, Anthony Wolf, Robert Borsinger, Michael Solomon, Yvette Levin, Suzanne Zimmer, Judith Kramer, Annette Romano, and Jamie Hawkins, who are Town Hall designee.
I move that the Township Committee give approval and consent to the mayor's appointments.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
I see that on page 3, I was announced with you, I was told as a Class 1 member to the Planning Board. I see you've removed my name.
No, you'll be a different class member. 1 is the mayor and 3 is the committee.
Okay, so it was highlighted here, so.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I move that Cheryl Burstein and Jackie Lieberberg be appointed as members of the Board of Education, Township Committee, Board of Recreation Committee, Fields Committee for a 1-year term ending December 31, 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that the following people be appointed as members of the 2018 Community Service Award Committee. Lynn Ranieri, Judith Bradman, Laura Janay, Elaine Becker, Chair, David Siegfried, Linda Berkowitz, Jennifer Mann Rosenblatt, and Marilyn Atlas Burney.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move that the following reappointment be made for the Board of Health. Laura Bond, medical doctor, as an alternate number 2 member for a 2-year term ending December 31, 2019.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that the following people be appointed as 2018 Board of Education liaisons. Cheryl Burstein, Jackie Lieberberg.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that Michael Wittenberg be appointed as municipal prosecutor for the year 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I move that Robert Borod be appointed as municipal public defender for the year 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that Joseph Steinberg be reappointed to the Zoning Board of Adjustment for a 4-year term ending December 31st, 2021.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I move that Joy Siegel be reappointed to the Zoning Board of Adjustment for a 4-year term ending December 31st, 2021.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that Diane Eglow be appointed as a Class 3 member of the Planning Board for a 1-year term ending on December 31st, 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I move that the following members be appointed to the dispatch joint meeting for 2018. Diane Eglow, Township Committee Liaison, Alex McDonald, Township Administrator, Brian Gilfetter, Police Chief.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Move that the following people be appointed as members of the 2018 Parking Ad Hoc Committee. Jackie Lieberberg, Cheryl Burstein, Alex McDonald, Donna Rogerio, Sergeant Michael Patel, Parking Enforcement Officer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I move that Jason Gabloff be reappointed treasurer for a term of 1 year ending December 31st, 2018.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Move that Alex McDonald be appointed as Millburn Public Agency Compliance Officer for a 1-year term ending December 31, 2018.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I move that the following members of the clergy be appointed and designated as chaplains to the Police Department for the year 2018. Reverend Kristen Byrne, St. Rose of Lima Church, Rabbi Stephen Bayer, Congregation B'nai Israel, Rabbi Matthew Gewirtz, Congregation B'nai Jeshurun, and Reverend Donnie Frederickson, Covenant Presbyterian Church.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I move that the following members of the clergy be reappointed as chaplains to the fire department for the year 2018. Reverend N. Christine Byrne, St. Rose Church of Lima.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I move that Robert Hengel be appointed as representative to the Essex County Transportation Advisory Board and the Lackawanna Coalition for one-year terms ending December 31st, 2018.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I move that Christopher Falcon be reappointed as Township Attorney for a one-year term ending December 31st, 2018.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Move that Louis Mai be reappointed as municipal auditor for a one-year term ending December 31, 2018.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I move that Sam Levy be appointed as representative to the joint meeting of Essex and Union County.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Levy?
Yes.
Ms. Lieberberg?
No.
Ms. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Ms. Paul Eglo?
I'm basing my vote on Sam Levy's in attendance on the planning board, missing 7 out of 20 meetings. This is a very important meeting. Board, we spend almost $500,000. This affects the entire sewer system that Millburn is part of. And I sat on that board all year. I felt I was an integral part. I was asked to come back. They were hoping I would come back, so I have to vote no to Sam Levy. And I hope his attendance once a month, 4 o'clock in Mayfield, would be doable. Sam Levy told me he usually gets home at 10:40 p.m. most nights, so I vote no.
Mayor Bursting?
I'm sure that Mr. Levy understands his obligations. I vote yes. Thank you. All right, we have a bunch of resolutions on the consent agenda: to adopt a temporary budget, to authorize a cash management plan, and authorize the township to conduct its business in the ordinary course, to appoint to award professional service agreements for our attorney, our computer maintenance, various special counsels, our auditor, appraisal services, our traffic engineer, and others. Is there anything in the consent agenda that anyone wants to make a comment on?
I have a question.
Oh, of course. From the public? Anybody in the public who has a question on the consent agenda? No. Okay. So at the committee, is that right?
I don't know if it's still in either 001, 002, possibly 013. I know we had a huge influx of people prepaying their taxes, anywhere between 40 and 60 million. I don't know what the final count was.
It ended up being 30.
Oh, 38, okay. So I'm just wondering, where does that money sit? Like, how is that protected, and what do we do with that? Is that within this purview of these consent agendas?
Well, it would be part of the investment plan, but the cash management plan. But that money is obviously prepaid for the first quarter, so or most of it is. So February 1st will start the first quarter, so it's about a month that money would be able to be invested in short-term investment. And obviously Jason is looking into that at this point, but that's covered under once it's put in the bank under our the FDIC and HIPAA, which is the insurance for municipalities' deposits, which covers the rest. The first 250 is covered by the FDIC,
Right.
and then the rest is covered by good funds.
Good to know. Thank you, Alex.
Hopefully we'll benefit from some of that investment income. With that, may I have a motion to approve the resolutions? So moved. Second.
Mr. Levy?
Yes.
Ms. Lieberberg?
Yes.
Ms. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Ms. Paul Eglo?
Yes.
Mayor Bursting?
Yes.
Thank you.
George, did you have something you wanted to say, our Essex County representative?
Just on behalf of the county executive, we'd like to wish everyone a happy new year. Congratulations once again to Mayor Burstein and the rest of the township committee. In January, February, close by, Cody Arena is going to have on Friday and Saturday nights USA Olympic skating session, so it's going to be reduced rate as long as you wear USA apparel. It'll be a skating admission of $5, so take advantage of that and try to stay warm. And we will offer our resources if the weather does, turn for the worst. Please contact and reach out to me so we can, work with the township should you need additional resources for salting or snow removal.
Thank you very much, and Happy New Year to you as well.
Thank you.
So that's the end of our business for tonight. We will open the floor to public comment. Just as a note, that generally during the Reorg meeting, we don't have a lot of public comment. I think that some people would like to go out and celebrate. So if people can deal with their business, that they can hold on to it for a couple of weeks, that'd be fine. If you have something that has to talk about now, we do have public comment.
Ed Mesa, Greenwood Drive in Millburn. First of all, I'd like to wish you all a Happy New Year. I think this is the appropriate time to give a thanks to the Township Committee and particularly to Don Ruggiero for the opportunity given to us to force money upon the Township. And I know in speaking with Donna that her office was understaffed at the time, and she was extremely cooperative to me, and I assume to everybody else, in accepting the money, and I think that should be noted.
I think that's why I actually sent her a note today, but I do agree that we should thank her publicly for all her and her staff, for the hours and hours, the late nights and weekends that she worked in order to make sure that everybody who wanted to pay their taxes early had the ability to do so. Thank you. May I have a motion to adjourn? So moved. Second?
Some more public comment.
Oh, sorry. Withdrawn. I didn't realize you.
Alyssa Sutton, 75 Mountain View Road, Millburn. I don't know where we're at with the monies that have been spent by the Downtown Development Committee. We're all waiting very patiently to see where this money's been spent and how it's been spent. In addition to that, we still have not talked about, and I talked about it at the last meeting, when are we going to handle the parking on the sidewalks? It's silly. It's dangerous. It's discriminatory to people with disabilities, physical disabilities, with canes and wheelchairs. They can't get out of the car. The cars hang off the sidewalks, off the sidewalk every day I drive through town. I love to take pictures of all the cars that are half off the sidewalk, because one day it's going to be a fire truck clipping the end of a car, or a child who's getting out of that side of the car getting clipped by a car. So I'm just wondering, are we just all going to meet and just continue to talk about it and never get the actual facts back from you guys? When is the time limit? So are you going to tell me next meeting will we have some facts or some information about digging this up and the actual cost of the downtown development? Or is this just open-ended till 2019? Because I've been coming since the summer and we still haven't gotten facts on it.
She means complete streets.
Yeah.
She means complete streets, flex
Well,
parking,
yeah,
bump
the
outs.
flex parking, the monies for the downtown development. When's the end game when we're going to get some knowledge on the information we're going to do with what's going on in the town? Are we going to continue to talk about it like the chickens, or just talk and get committees, or are we going to actually say, okay, by this date we're going to try to do something about it?
Can I answer us to the DMDA?
Sure.
As to the DMDA, I was just appointed the new liaison, and I look forward to working and finding out the answers to your questions, because there have been a lot of questions. A lot of the merchants have helped bring a lot of issues to light. And as the committee, we have to approve the budget. So
once the budget...
concerns, once this budget comes to us, obviously...
Yes, I did. It's two things. Once complete street. My question is, can we look back at this past year, once you're able to get the numbers?
You can look at it now. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I believe that it's online. I read an email today that said that I think a lot of the meeting minutes are online from last year. If there's something that you don't have.
Yeah, I looked,
Yeah.
and I can't see where the actual monies have been spent. Even though you're earmarking monies, I want to know how those monies were spent.
Yeah,
And I wanted
there's a
to
meeting
put
on
in-
the, until there's a meeting, there's a meeting on the 9th, I believe at 6 o'clock. It's, all meetings are public.
Here?
No, at the DMDA.
But I'll talk to you separately when I.
Okay,
when
and then
I-
also back to the complete streets. When is the end of this? When are we going to deal with this issue?
Well, it'll be dealt with at some point this year.
Since the summer, just for the record, 6 months.
I understand.
How much is it to dig up the sidewalks?
I don't know.
Okay, exactly.
I can add everything. I would be very happy, and I hope I will be appointed to the
I'll
Complete
go out
Street
there
Ad Hoc
with a piece of
Committee by the
equipment and
mayor.
dig it up for the.
So if there's another Complete Street Ad Hoc Committee, I hope I will be appointed, and I will help answer your questions with reports at each meeting.
Happy New Year, Richard Wasserman, 24 Inverness Court. I want to congratulate everybody on their respective elections and wish you good luck. But just to reiterate what she said, Mayor, I know that in the last couple of meetings, you've been talking about appointing a subcommittee to look into flex parking, complete streets, to work on some of the solutions we've been waiting for. Is that going to be forthcoming?
The committee will be appointed within the next meeting or two, but yes, no committee was appointed since we didn't know. We have to decide how we want to populate it and what its role is going to be.
Right, now I bring that up just in light of the accidents that we've seen at Main Street and Millburn Avenue. I know that recently we saw a video online of somebody being hit by a car. We've also seen several accidents in the last couple months. And, and so from a safety point of view, I think this subcommittee could be very, very useful to start looking at some of these issues.
Well, we'll look at it.
Great.
you.
And the other thing I wanted to bring up is that with flex parking, especially with the snow, that I don't think any of the cars are actually sitting, where they're supposed to be on the flex parking. And it's very concerning seeing that they are leaning out into the street.
We've heard all of what you've had to say about that.
And finally, my other point is that, I've been actively asking, at least on some of the sites, websites, I've been talking to some of our neighbors, and we don't really see a big police presence downtown. And I know that so many of us are concerned. I mean, it seems like, I know the police do a fine job in general, and I have the utmost respect for them. But in light of flex parking with the cars and with the large bump outs, I'm just thinking that it might be a great idea to talk to the police about having a greater presence right in the middle of town during rush hour, during some of the, busy hours.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Bill Kirsch, 93 Cedar Street. I also wish all of you a good year on the committee, and thank you for the time you put in. I've been coming to these meetings regularly for about 12, 13 years, and I've always been happy to see questioning of things on the agenda by the Township Committee and by the citizens who come. And it's always been done in proper order, in a professional way by the committee, and with the citizens, almost without exception, recognizing the order, so we don't have chaos, we don't have groups pitted against each other, we don't have cheering sections in the audience. And I've seen that start to change lately. And my greatest wish for 2018 is that the members of the committee act in a professional way, that they find they'll be able to speak as they follow the rules, and that those of us who come as an audience also wait for our times to speak, respect each other, and don't become cheering sections or people up against each other like in some kind of sports event. Because this is town government, it's very important, and if we lose civility, we lose just about everything that's important in it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Tara Kupris, owner of Green Nectar Juicery and resident at 206 Millburn Avenue. I just have a few things, questions to ask. The business permit parking permits went out, and I had asked if we could do, and we'd asked a couple times if there could be monthly parking permits for businesses. Is that something we can discuss further?
I think at this point, you know, we're exploring all possibilities, so I'd say yes, we could
So how,
discuss it.
cool, can we have a meeting about it off, like not in here?
Yes.
Does that would be the next step?
Right, so at the last meeting, if I'm not mistaken, we talked about trying different things with parking.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to.
So how should I follow up? I mean,
Just send us an email and let's schedule a meeting.
cool.
Who's on the
Okay.
parking committee this
It
year?
was me and Jackie.
Yes.
So,
When you say parking, what do you,
I'm talking about the
monthly?
business parking
I
permits.
understand that,
We
but you want a
monthly
monthly
ones.
option?
Yes, to see if that's possible, because it's so expensive to put it out, the money. So if we could have like a separate monthly payment.
A monthly payment or a monthly out? You
A
mean
monthly,
a monthly payment plan as opposed to an annual fee?
we're just buying a monthly permit.
A month to month?
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, so-
Okay, cool. Did you get
Do you
my?
understand? I
I
want to
think-
clarify the difference
well, I
because,
think we should have a meeting to see what
Yeah.
they really need and then work from
Just
there.
talk about parking.
Right.
And I recognize you requested 15-minute spots in front of your store, which is.
Right, so I wanted to follow up on that and see if that is a possibility, what the progress is on that.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that should be discussed, but,
All right,
but,
so I'm
but,
gonna
but I just caution you that it's, you know, that while certainly love to be accommodating as much as we can, you know, we have to be cognizant of that, you know, that's just one merchant at this point.
Oh, for sure. I'm
so-
like,
so we
trust
can
me,
discuss
I'm
it
not
at the same
just about
time.
this being for me, but for my larger, like, the entire community. Okay, so
So
it's not,
parking, we need to have a separate meeting. We don't-
right, but can we like, so I'm gonna send an email and I would love a response that when we can set that meeting.
Right, I think we just need to get a date that works for us.
Awesome.
Okay.
So I'm gonna email the whole committee or just
No, me
Cheryl and Jackie and Alex?
Correct.
Perfect. All right. Jody, the DMDA, you're the liaison, awesome. Great. So there's now, I mean, you've seen all my emails, right? Just, I want some acknowledgement. Yes. Yes, thank you. Eve resigned. So there's now a vacancy spot.
Eve from Buffalo.
From Bungalow. So it's not even following, we're not even following the bylaws at this point in terms of the number of people. I have reached out. Nobody from the DMDA is responding to me. That is why I'm here, because I don't know what else to do. So I'm speaking, hold on, Cheryl, 1 second. So I need to know, like, I want a reelection. I want to follow the existing bylaws. The ballot was not followed. Like, it was so confusing. I'm a really smart person.
I read your emails. If I can just defer to Kit, it's my understanding, and please correct me. Let's say I dig with you and find out that there might have been some election issue. I'm not sure I, as a township committee member, what is our power? Our power is if we wanted to change the ordinance that enacted the DMDA, we could get rid of the DMDA. But we're not able to micromanage the affairs as a township committee. Can you please explain legally? I know you did a memo recently.
As to whether they're following the right procedures and whether the ballot is properly prepared and that sort of thing, those are not the kinds of things that the township committee would ride herd on, in my estimation. I think your first port of call, although I guess it's frustrating from what I hear, is the board meeting. They're having a meeting on the 9th. I think the DMDA has counsel.
They just got, I
Yeah.
think they just.
What I've had occasion to do for similar organizations is do what's called a legal audit, where the attorney takes a look at the requirements of the bylaws and whatever other legal requirements there are and say, yes, you're doing this. No, you haven't done that. You better get that straightened out. And that would be my suggestion for the start of the effort. At the DMDA, that somebody, or maybe a group of people, be put in charge of analyzing what's going on, does it comply with the legal requirements, are we complying with our bylaws or not, and then coming up with a remediation plan to straighten out any items that haven't been followed. But the township committee, as I said the last time, a separate corporation was established to administer the affairs of the DMDA, and that's what their business is. Absent some, calamitous criminality or absconding with funds or something, the role of the township committee, once having set this all in place, is to make sure in that annual budget that the requests that they make are reasonable and that they're undertaking the kind of activities that the DMDA is supposed to undertake to foster the vitality of the downtown, but not to run the DMDA day in, day out. So I think first things first, as you suggested, meetings February 9th.
January.
I'm sorry,
Next
January 9th.
Tuesday.
And then you can, with the board there and with people who have
Ask for a
something
legal
to
audit.
say, I would suggest that. But that would be the first port of call, to start reordering the house cards, if the needs reordering or not. A legal audit is a great device.
And I have a question. Who mandates that legal audit? Is it the township committee or how does that, how is?
The DMDA should assign their attorney the task of going through their requirements, that they have a set of bylaws that they're supposed to be following, and anything else that, I read the email, I'm not sure who it came from, but which enumerated very many, couple dozen problems that have been perceived in the operations of the DMDA. Some of them strike me as kind of political arguments and then other kinds of arguments, but as to what they're supposed to be doing, and that they adhere to their bylaws and other rules that control their operations, that would be my suggestion as a good place to start.
A legal audit. That's good.
That's what a lawyer
Thank
can do. I've done it for organizations.
And is there a time? Do they have to execute that audit within a certain time frame? Is it, I'm just asking, is it 90 days, 120 days?
There's
I mean,
no
how
mandated-
long can that go on?
What if they don't
There's
do
no
it?
mandated, there's no mandated timeframe. I think the board should direct the audit to be done as promptly as possible. You know, there are audits and then there are audits.
Right.
This doesn't strike me as the kind of organization that would take, 10 months to figure out what they're doing and whether it's in compliance with their rules. But it would be up to the board to say, listen, you're our attorney, here's what we expect you to get done within a certain amount of time.
I feel like good. I feel like we can move on and this could be over. I mean, in terms of moving on from this discussion and that we can talk about next Tuesday. I would just like to say at some point, I had asked if I could go to a meeting and told it was a closed meeting when that was completely not true. So the current DMDA has been operating in a way that has been kind of where you couldn't permeate it, a very closed insular group. And I think that's all going to change now because we're all involved. And all the residents who are sitting here, please come to the meeting next Tuesday night, 6 p.m. at the DMDA office above Hills Tavern. And if you need to find it, just find me. I'll let you know where it is.
Thank you, Tom.
All right. I think that's
I think your time's up.
it. Yes. Thank you. All right. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, Karen.
Suri Katz, 11 Fairfield Drive. Happy New Year. And my wish for 2018 for the Township Committee, aside from good health for everyone, which is the most important thing, is that we can come to a place where the citizens and residents and taxpayers and merchants and the people who do, as they say in this wonderful life, all of the everyday living and dying in this town, can actually feel that their voices are heard and that they're being responded to, and that we actually care about doing what's right and good for the town, and not just points of order or your 3-minute time slot or exactly when in the committee meeting you can talk. Because there are important issues that are affecting residents, merchants, taxpayers, the students and the schools, etc. The DMDA responsivity to the members and the merchants, and potentially wasting a lot of the money that the members and merchants are putting into it. Complete streets, flex parking, pedestrian safety, the bump outs, the huge amount of money, which is as yet untold of how much that costs the town. Stewardship of our tax dollars on these types of projects and others. The budgets, which hopefully will be responsive to the new tax law, and which most of us will not be able to anymore deduct most of our local taxes. And the traffic that's being pushed into residential neighborhoods, the kids in Washington school and all of this, it's really very, very serious and important issues. And I would really hope that the township would actually focus on the issues and not rules of order and things like that, because there are a lot of very, very frustrated citizens in town. And they want to be heard and listened to. And heard and listened to and responded to and treated with respect, because they're the ones who are supporting this whole town. And we appreciate the time that you put in, but we also expect that we will get the respect as citizens, taxpayers, that we deserve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm David Cosgrove, 99 Oakview Terrace, and I wanted to get a report from the committee or whoever on the committee is handling the Woodland Road project. What's going on there, what's being discussed?
There's nothing going on at the moment.
Okay, is anyone on the board having discussions at all with the developer?
At the moment.
Okay,
No.
not, I know not at the moment, we're at this meeting, but in the last 2 months. I just want to make sure it's not a word game.
No, and you communicated with me as well. In fact, I think there's some misinformation flowing. I asked you where you're getting your information. I didn't get anything back from you. No, as a matter of fact, we are, do you want to respond to where we are right now? I mean, we told them to take down from their website any indication that it's a done deal. And I presume they're going to be coming to the planning board or something.
Is there anything going on at the planning board?
No, you would know, it's on the, it would be on the agenda. So, and it's not on an agenda, it's not on an it's not on an upcoming agenda either, to my knowledge, so. No, the agendas are published before they occur.
Okay, thank you.
Jane Cosgrove, 99 Oakview Terrace. My understanding is with projects like this, that they don't go to the planning board, that they want to go to the township committee so they don't have to have these variances for the type of projects they're building. So I don't understand why you're saying they would go to the planning board when these type of projects start with the township committee asking for an overlay.
I think, yeah, see, I don't know where this overlay concept came in with this, but you're talking about the zoning board. So they don't want to go to the zoning board for variances.
Okay.
But it's, no, there's a difference. So it would be,
Yes,
it would
okay.
be they would go to the planning board for whatever planning changes would be required. It's always going to be at an open meeting. Nothing can happen without it being at an open meeting.
But there are discussions that take place before the open meeting, and that's where we want to know what's going on with any meetings with the developer, and anything, actually even besides that, anything going on with that section of town, we're interested in. We just don't want to wait till the meeting to hear about it, because it feels like our input isn't important, and that you're not interested in hearing to us until it's a done deal, or essentially a done deal.
So last year when they made the presentation, we had them come to the township committee and make a presentation to the township committee so that everybody in that neighborhood would understand that these people want to come, that this developer wants to come and develop. Since then, not much has happened.
What has happened since
Yeah,
then?
sure.
Can I just add? The developer came to the township committee as a, because we requested it sort of as a courtesy to the town and a courtesy to the township committee to present what it wanted to do. It didn't have to do that. It's not seeking anything from us. So the developer then at one point may go to the planning board. And if it goes to the planning board, there are no secret meetings that you wouldn't be a part of, that you wouldn't be aware of. You would be able to attend the planning board meetings. And given a project of this ilk, it'll probably be more than one planning board meeting. You'll be able to go and have an opportunity to be heard the same way that you have an opportunity to be heard here as well. In fact, we have some members of the planning board in the audience today who will support all that. So the public, anyone who has an interest in this, will have multiple opportunities to be heard. And indeed, those members who can attend planning board meetings can even submit information to the planning board as well, too. If there's something you want to submit that wanted to be considered, that you disagree with on the plan or that you want to be heard on, all those opportunities will be present to you.
So you say it starts at the planning board, not with the township committee discussion?
It may, the developer has the opportunity to go to the zoning board, it could go to the planning board. It could do either of those things.
Why would you want to do that if you need variances? Why wouldn't instead you go to the township committee?
Okay, we can't, okay, so when you say the township committee, you're talking about here, because
Here.
even as a committee, we can't discuss it in private because we're not allowed to have those types of discussions. So it would have to be discussed in open if there's, so that the five of us could discuss it, it would have to be in an open public meeting.
But how come your discussions with the developer, if and when they happen, as they're going on, they're not private discussions?
Correct.
There's no confidentiality, so why can't we hear exactly when they happen, what's going on, and what he's saying, and what he's thinking about? And I mean, obviously, there was public parking added and mentioned at his website, which is, I find that really annoying that his website's giving us information that we're not hearing from. I don't think he just sat down one day and made that up.
Is there
I
a
don't know
reason?
about, I don't look at the developer's website, but I can tell you that since the meeting, which was at least a couple of months ago, at which point the committee asked me to contact the township about the objectionable references to it looking like this was a done deal between the township committee and the developer, I wrote that letter. I got a response from their attorney. I think I'm the only point of contact with the Silverman group at this point, and I'm telling you, there was a letter from me to him, and he responded to me. Otherwise, I have had no conversations, and no members of the township committee have talked to this developer. They're sitting out there, as far as I know, waiting to see when the township will be ready to take up whatever it is they want to propose. And they'd rather be sooner rather than later. But the other thing I wanted to assure you is the township committee does not have the legal authority to grant land use approvals. You can't, you gotta go to the planning board or the board of adjustments to propose to build something. And that's where that activity takes place. It's not, they're not gonna be able to come here and say, I wanna build a building, and they say, oh yeah, go ahead. That'll be wonderful. Now, there is one instance in this whole scenario where they may come to the township committee and request a zoning change. That would be at their request to make the zoning amenable to, more or less amenable to what they might have in mind. But it always has to end up at some land use board in order to be effective, in order for approval to be granted. There's not going to happen here.
Well, with the McCalley property, though, it seemed like it was very specific, the overlay to what they wanted, and it went to a reading at the township committee, then it went to, I guess, the zoning board, and then back again for a second reading, and that seemed like that's what the process was. So that's why I'm thinking that this is where it starts.
It could, that's one of the alternatives. It could start.
And that's usually what
But
this type of
what I'm trying to tell you
project is what, for affordable housing is how they do it.
Well, that whole affordable housing.
But that's what this is, as a, some medical group is using this as a means of getting what they want.
But you have an opportunity to be heard on this. I think the point is, you said that you didn't want to be prevented from being heard. All these meetings that we're discussing, no matter what course the developer takes, coming here asking for a zoning change, going to planning board, these are all public meetings. They're all published. You have an opportunity to be heard. You can show up by yourself, with others, with lawyers. Anyone can be heard in these things that have standing to be heard. So you'll have more than ample opportunity to be heard if you have objections or want to render comments.
Kit, is there any reason, if Ms. Cosgrove would like to see the legal correspondence that she can't submit a request?
No, it's the same thing. Let me take a look at the overall. There might be there's a deliberative exception where I circulated this stuff to you.
No, I think she means the letter from you to their lawyer and their lawyer to you.
I understand at a meeting, we found out from some of our residents that there was a website already acting like it's a done deal. So we asked you to please look into this because we, under no uncertain terms, had agreed to anything. So then you wrote a letter saying, hey, what did you do here? And they wrote you back and said, is there any reason why, if she lives in that neighborhood, she can't see what that corresponds because she wants to know exactly what we know, right?
I guess it more was, I don't know what happened between the presentation, which I wasn't aware of until after the fact, and to his website change. I don't, it's saying about public parking, like, to me, he just doesn't wake up at night and change what he was asking for, unless there was a discussion saying, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, we're not agreeing to it now, but, you know, I just can't see something must have happened between those two things, and that's what I find frustrating.
And you can watch the video though too, from on our website that will show the presentation to catch you up as well.
I'm afraid I'm not aware of the parking business, but if you give me a couple of days, I will get back to you.
No, it's what he initially presented did not involve this whole other thing with public parking. It was X number of spots. There was a change to what was presented and what was on his website, which made me suspect that something took place that we weren't aware of. And I'd like to know
private
if
meetings
there's...
going on that's.
Not with us, I think he met with Paul Phillips. I think he met with the planner. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, he met with the planner and somehow then he put it in his
decided what would be more
plan.
palatable.
It was a discussion with the town planner, Mr. Phillips.
That was a long time ago.
That's the only thing I know. I believe 6 months ago, he reached out, and I guess he paid for a meeting with the town planner to try to find out what would be more palatable.
And I just one more question. If the town completes their plan, they're doing their plan, they put in affordable housing in certain areas of the town, doesn't that close out a builder's remedy on another site?
I wish.
Now it's beyond, that's also a legal question. I mean, there's a lot of steps and hoops to jump through before we can be protected from that.
Because I was thinking the more expedited you get on that, and if you have a plan, you could direct them to other areas.
Right.
You know, because, I mean, my suggestion, and no one probably agree, by the Millburn ShopRite, that industrial area, would be a good place to develop affordable housing because there's a bus route there, it's not far from the train station, and they have access out to Morris Turnpike, Main Street, and it's not like
So
next
that's
to a
planning
residential
board.
neighborhood.
When
Yeah,
that comes up
that's
to the
what I was
planning board,
thinking.
my suggestion is that you come to the planning board to
I will.
make your suggestions.
Thank you. The planning board has been tasked with that project.
Yeah, I know, I was just hoping that, let us get moving forward. Okay, thank you.
Hi, Happy New Year. My name is Beatrice Shear, and I live at 101 Oakview Terrace, right at the end of the lot where this monstrous project is being planned. And I'm concerned about process and knowing, but I'm even more concerned about substance. And I would like the township to know and not forget for a minute that Glenwood opposes this project. This project is horrible for Glenwood, and Glenwood opposes it. And Glenwood does not want to be sacrificed up to, because the town may be frightened of a special master or an affordable housing plan. As I understand it, as I understand the legal process here, the town is going to have an affordable housing plan. And it's going to have to be approved by the court anyway. So the town should not be cowed by developers who come in threatening a builder's remedy suit into sacrificing up Glenwood just to put this off. So I think of all of the things, and of course I live there, but of all of the things that are going on in town, and I know people have a lot of interest, this is huge. Not only for Glenwood, but for the density of this town. We do not want, I'm in favor of affordable housing, but not six units for every 1 unit of affordable housing. And we have to do whatever we have to do to prevent that ridiculous density from happening. So that is the substance that I would like to communicate to the town.
Hi, Carrie Strasberg, I'm Eclipse. Thank you for your service to the new board. We're so happy to have our new member on. I understand the gentleman's quest for more civility amongst the board and the audience. I haven't been coming to meetings for 13 years, but it's been a couple now, and I think there's been pent-up frustration, which has led to some unruliness and applauding from the audience at different times. I know I've been guilty of it, so I apologize and resolved to do better in 2018. I was wondering if in 2018 that there could also be a quest for more accountability from all of you who we elected in terms of the issues that are very, very important to us as a town, not to South Mountain versus Glenwood versus Canoe versus Washington or any other area, but all of us as a town, and also more communication. So if we're going to be accepting tax payments, let's let people know and what the rules are and what we need to do. If you're going to be doing an extra leaf collection, great that you announce that you're doing it, but also when and where and all of those details that kind of make our lives easier. But after listening to the last couple of people, I guess the other thing would be to just ask, how can concerned citizens be expected to go to township committee meetings, zoning board meetings, planning board meetings, and all of those meetings? We can't actually get to all of them. People have jobs and kids and lives, and I guess my question is, most of the time that people are asking about things like the Chatham Road development or Matt Calley, that we are coming to the meetings, we are asking questions. We don't get a heck of a lot of answers. We hear from y'all that all the meetings are open and public and we can go to all of them, and then we wake up and we see the item that, 5 days ago something was voted on and Matt Calley is happening. And I think everyone in this room kind of fully expects that this development on Woodland Road will happen. It's just a question of how. And I think we're looking to you for a little more guidance and communication. And I think I have a bigger expectation of what you guys can and should be offering us. So I'm hoping that in 2018 that people who ask questions get better answers, and people who send emails get their emails answered, whether it's about the MDA or the parking or any of the other issues that people have been coming to meetings about for years now. Whether you want to look us in the eye or not when we ask the questions, we'd like to get some answers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Ann Levison, 3 Factory Drive, Short Hills. As far as the Woodland development goes, I actually had received the minutes from about 2 years ago when the Matt Calley was approved. And it stated that it was approved here. There was a vote. I think Ed Buzak was the attorney that night. Actually, it was on in January, and then there was one in February. And Cheryl, you had abstained when they voted. So that is where I think we've gotten the idea that it does happen here. And the overlay, or whatever the technical word is, that changed the zoning for that area happened here. And then there was a whole group of people that came that were really devastated, and we were told by Megan Tillotson at the time that it's not, the problem isn't here, we should all go to the planning board. But it actually had happened here, it appeared, from reading those two minutes that was obtained. And we're also told, as far as deals being made, that there has to be a quorum when they come in, when someone comes in. But there are many times that a developer will come into town and just speak to 1 or 2 people on the township committee. And therefore, there are no minutes relating to that conversation. And I think those are the things that kind of make us all edgy about the whole thing, because we know that if two people are talking, well, there's no minutes about it, and we're not going to get the information about it. And those are the things that we feel are being done, and like this was a done deal a year ago. And also I wanted to just mention, I have seen the Silverman trucks around the Summit Medical Group parking. I happen to have been there. I saw them taking out machinery, some workers. This goes back maybe a month ago. So, I mean, they're active.
Were they cleaning up?
I don't know. There were 2 trucks, and the guys brought off some machinery, and then one truck left, and then one truck came back. So, I mean, there is activity going on. So I just wanted to let you know.
Thank you. No one else? Yeah.
Happy New Year. Mary Reesbeck, 91 Whittingham Terrace, Millburn. Just a few things I'm going to read a little because I forget stuff. I want to echo the comments made by some of the other residents. The comments made by the township resident about being civil and following rules and the cheering sections and all of that. This is happening due to the level of frustration in town, and you guys really have to be listening to this. I certainly have respect for Robert's rules and organization and all of that, but what I've observed over this past year at these meetings has really been troubling, to say the least. It's completely outrageous to keep appointing an ad hoc meeting to deal with complete streets, police presence, and other topics that are of interest to the residents in the town. Set a deadline for the to create the ad hoc committee. Right. Give us a date. Yeah. It doesn't have to be next meeting. It doesn't have to be the meeting after that. But give us a date. Say, I'm going to have it done by February 1st. Right. Or whatever. And then stick to it. Don't be vague. This is really not the way to run a business. I mean, I was in corporate America for 35 years. I know how these things work. And former committee member Tillotson said that the election that we just had in November was a referendum on complete streets and other topics that you are all responsible for. And it was. And Jackie got the most votes in that election. And I have to say, had there been another anti-complete streets candidate on the ballot, they would be sitting here tonight along with Jackie. With regard to committee member Eglow speaking out during the nomination for deputy mayor, I don't understand what the harm was in allowing her to have a few minutes to have her say. What's the harm in promoting collaboration on this committee? We could use a little more collaboration. Instead, I see the 3 of you over there, and now the 2 of them over there, and it's really quite juvenile, and all of us sitting here, I suspect that many of the people sitting here would agree that we really don't want to see this us against them stuff. We'd like to see you all working together, and if that means giving a little, you know, I mean, maybe you have 2 deputy mayors, I don't know. But you've got to work together. There's going to be another election in November. There'll be another referendum. It's time to work together. And I must say, when I hear that Sam Levy has missed 7 meetings, and a few of these meetings that we've all been to, I question the judgment of putting him on that committee. One other thing that has, other than a very minor note, I haven't seen the traffic officer at these meetings lately, and I have some questions about some of the things going on in town. For example, the topic about if you get rid of a spot, you have to create a spot somewhere else or whatever. So there's a new building on Millburn Avenue in front, next to the post office. There used to be 2 parking spots there. Now there's none. I want the 2 parking spots back. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Very well said. I'd like to say a closing word, just so I could finish what I was going to say before. I want to welcome Jackie Benjamin Lieberberg. I am thrilled that she's here. We all worked really, really hard. Woo! I want to thank her for nominating me and trusting me for deputy mayor. I will pledge to work with you, Mayor, and Deputy Mayor. Jackie and I believe, are here because we have the same vision of what we would like to see in Millburn. We do have a price to remove flexible parking. I believe it was $400,000 that Alex had given to me. It is out there. It's public record. It can be done. We can do all these things it takes 3 votes. You got 2 here. Let's work with our other 3 committee members. Let's make the town as you want it. You live here, you shop here, you pay the taxes. Let's be a team that we intend to be. I have welcomed Jackie with open heart, and I think that we are going to be fabulous in 2018.
Move that.
Second.
We're adjourned for a second.
Thank you. Okay.